flying the left his first time. Dodgers only have one hit against Valdez. It was Pollock's single in the second. Turner looks in the area center. Springer goes back. Edge of the track. The ball doesn't seem to really be flying that well tonight. So far for the Dodgers, one away.
They need to try a different area out of the center field. 409 out there too, so you've got to absolutely crush it there. Get a few of these either going to right center or left center and do some damage.
Here's Bellinger. How about back when they had Tal's Hill out there? Take a Ruthian shot to get it out to center. Something this guy's capable of doing. Struck out his first time, noteworthy because it's his first K of the year. The guy that had the single biggest improvement in strikeout rate in baseball last year, 2018 to 2019. Struck out about a quarter of the time in 2018.
So I'm leading with the Kieran Ranger here.
2019.
Also made huge improvements against lefties.
Yeah, so much so that he became the best lefty.
I want to sandbag the Shepherd.
National League. Same guy that was platoon in the World Series before. Valdez gets in on him, shifted around there. Correa on a close play goes the way of the Astros. So Correa realized midway through his delivery there that, oh my goodness, that's right. He can run like a deer.
And the claw would have been not charged.
This is the first time the Tuesday prelim has fired in quite a while. Hey Nathan, how's it going? So here, definitely gonna play well. I don't know what they're on, but I get one way to cheese a win is to lead with the oof. Lou, it's okay, come on. So that's what I'll do. Lou, come on. Good boy. That way I can glimpse the following turn as well. Lou, come on. Judy, can you take Lou? Okay, looks like our opponent is on some kind of mid-range deck. Lou, stop. Yeah, my dog realized that I'm talking to somebody that's not him right now.
It's almost like you're training to become an even smarter, stronger investor.
Lou, stop. Come on. So I misplayed earlier. Missed the attack on the oof. Yeah, I'm trying to stream, but it's very difficult with a dog. Yeah, maybe this wasn't a good idea with the dog. Lou, come on, please. So our opponent is pondering what to do on their end step for some reason. They're targeting my shepherd probably because they don't want me to natural order. Judy! Yeah, this is very difficult for me right now. I guess if it's entertaining for chat, that might be worth it. Yeah, I might have to just stand because my dog is.
There's a component of being a slow starter in a 60-game season, which is the calendar's getting short. Slow starter with 162, it doesn't affect your emotions as much.
So they're on Bug Delver probably based on the wasteland.
Those are emotions that can come in when the calendar is getting short and you're still not.
So they can't really attack because I'm attacking for more. I wish I had a Wirewood here because then I could just start attacking or playing getting off value off Visionary. That's funny. Yeah, maybe he's calmer now. We'll see. I'm definitely playing under suboptimal conditions, but that's how you improve, right?
You can look at the computer screen and you can see those numbers, and they're flat on the screen as historic numbers for 60 games. But that flat screen does not tell you the emotions of no.
If they have fewer cards, I'd be tempted to just swing all and go wide, and they'd be under a lot of pressure. But 4 cards in hand, I don't think I can afford that to do that yet.
Then you add in the no fans.
Okay, so bugged over, which is what I assumed.
Of a new culture, how to get to the park, be at the park.
4 mana? Angler? So this is a blast from the past. Might have had for 1 a turn, which I did, not anymore though. That's pretty funny. So they tapped out right now, so I know there's no threat of force. So I got this. Actually, I might as well just. The worst thing they can do is daze. I might as well just play the heritage and get extra damage.
But with no outs or one out, where you don't want to hit the get an easy base hit over here to the left side, I think you want your defense a little bit shifted over.
So not bad considering I did miss one attack earlier. It doesn't really matter in this case because opponent played everything out, so I need the coast was clear. Post war gets harder because the reason to play bug is, in my opinion, plague engineer. We have decays and the cabal pitch should be pretty good. They can't really beat an Archon too. Bog is a little questionable, I think, in this matchup. I might want to bore out the Bog in this case. Usually, I like Bog for Arcanus, but they don't have red. Actually, now that I think about it, this is a matchup that it might be better to just leave in natural order now, because that's one way for us to beat Plague Engineer. Otherwise, this is typically how I board against most blue-red Delver decks. So actually, let me see if I want. I think I might want to do that actually, leaving the natural orders, because Thoughtseizes is tempo negative. So I think I might want to do that instead. And then Heritage Druid is kind of weak to Plague Engineer. And then we have the Cabal Pit. So Reclaimer's a threat too. I think I like this. They might have Leovold, but I don't think it's worth it to bring Caracas when they can't tutor for it.
First overall pick, rookie of the year, and an all-star in 17. But he's missed almost half of the game since he was an all-star that year. Last year, limited to just 75 games. He fractured a
Really quiet now.
30 in a row that he missed at least 50. He's gone from being looked at as the next big star to...
So yeah, I missed it earlier, but shop. Yeah, you have one big guy keeping back a bunch of elves essentially. 5 land hand is not great, but I think we can do better with the London Mall. Here it's kind of the opposite. We have only one real safe land. It's still a very good hand though. I think here we don't want a second glimpse. Natural Order is very good against Bug, in my opinion, and just to beat Plague Engineer. That was a really bad draw, unfortunately. So here we just, against Delver, you just want to hit land drops. And then if you can get an Archon online, then that should wrap it up. I don't think they have a way to remove it. Yeah, I don't think they run Deluge or anything like that. But I guess they could have Oko, so there's a reason to bring in Progenitus. But I typically want to be able to block Delver's secrets. To be honest, this is the first time I'm trying this configuration. I haven't played Bug in a while, but I used to board out natural orders. But I think the last time I lost to Bug because of Plague Engineer. So, and they're pretty slow without red.
2 out, secondary lead, and you're off at the crack of the bat, and that's why Bellinger didn't have a shot at him. It was a good job charging this line drive, a good job with the throw, but because there's 2 out, right?
They took the glimpse, which makes me think they probably have permission, because then they can make me lose tempo with playing the natural order and losing a guy when they can force. Attacking with Delver is interesting. Tells me they have another Delver or creature in hand. It's possible they have force plus another second Delver.
coming up in the order here with Reddick and Tucker. And it looks like by that reaction, Dave Roberts may be coming.
Yeah, my draws have been pretty bad, unfortunately. So they flipped over. They're revealing Abrupt Decay. So yeah, they have a second creature in Goef here. I suspect that there's a Force or Daze in hand, but we can't just pass really. In general, I don't really play around Daze. If I can jam it, I jam it. Here's no different, I think. I think here I want to play it off the Misty though, because that gives me a third fetch. In the yard, and then for Reclaimer later on. Oh, there's 4, I guess, with the Arbor. Jeez. Yeah, I know they had at least one piece of permission. The problem is you can't wait. Okay, so they're gonna take the hoof here, and then attack us for 7. We'll go to 6. Decay would be pretty good here, or oof.
Who else reads books about submarines? My dad. Yeah. Oh, no, sir. We're Kristen can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect you all alone when you bubble with us.
So here we have to block the Goyev.
Enjoy a taste of summer.
Actually, they have a Decay. That was bad on me.
Made with fresh, in-season ingredients.
Yeah, that was bad. I don't think it matters here because we're dead the following turn anyways, regardless of what we draw. I think, yeah, based on the Thoughtseizes, we probably do want Natural Order in this matchup. Yeah, didn't matter. There's an argument to be made that we should be playing Progeners because of Oko. So that's something to think about. Yeah, I think their clock is not so fast, we can't do that. Because, well, the last thing we want to do is lose to an... Well, since we're keeping it hoof, Archon might be okay, but the last thing we want to do is lose to an Oko. It's definitely a close call, I think. Yeah, I think we keep the Archon to block. And get hoof if it's lethal.
The interesting thing is that I think it's A, they're going to speed up the game, and B, they're going to give it a little more advantage to the offense. Because you can get a matchup now. It's going to be one that the offense likes better than the defense.
Excuse me. My dog is calm now, though, which is nice. It's not great, but we keep still based on the... It has lands and spells.
We've seen him so good at the plate this summer in Canada to start the season, but pretty darn good defensively too.
I've had somebody recently force my first elf off a Bayou and then waste me. So that's probably the worst thing that can happen there. Let's say take the wirewood because they see my hands awkward. Man, this hand. Like, if I play the cradle here, they can waste me, but I think that's probably fine. Yeah, I know. Jeez. In case we want to decay. So yeah, if those were heritage, that would have been better. But this is kind of awkward. So it would be, yeah, 2 heritage and maybe a crop instead of the 2 naturals and the hoof. We're scapegoating the cavern here in case we draw an elf. Hey Roncor, how's it going, man? This is game 3. Doesn't look like it's gonna be our way. So that was pretty sweet. Misplay by our opponent because didn't realize that Reclaimer was getting was forced through. They may have a fatal push here, which is still bad for us, but if we untap with Reclaimer, I feel good about our chances. Cage, that's okay, I think. They could be, but then that's already 8 cards, right? I think here, this is a freebie. We can get the Bayou and protect it. The problem is then our cradle is not protected from wasteland, but maybe, yeah, I don't know if that's worth it. Because we can't even decay it this turn anyway, so I think we just leave it up. Yeah, QB Turtle is supposed to be pretty good. They might just miss it, to be honest. It happens. Lou, come on. Yeah, I mean, in my last stream, I made one of the worst mistakes I possibly could have late in the stream because I was tired. So things happen. It's not okay. So that's fine. He's probably gonna kill the ranger. Actually, oh shoot! I was supposed to float in response. Oh my god, that's bad. Lou, stop. Yeah, that was a pretty bad mistake by me right now. This engineer should be off the board already. extremely bad. Luckily, it didn't matter. I think we need to play our elf right now so we can develop a board. And they waste us, that's fine. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, David. We are under some pressure, unfortunately. And that cage is stop turning off our tutors. Thanks, David. Yeah, I think it was just really awkward because I was distracted for a split second, and then he missed the chance to fetch up the Bayou a turn earlier. Here they have two cards. I'm gonna run this into days. Yeah, we should have won this game, but I just didn't play well. Alright, I'm gonna use the restroom. I'll be right back. Thanks, Eli, for the raid. There's only 2 matches left in progress, so I don't think it's a good idea to double queue here in between. I'll go over my deck real quickly. I lost round 1. It was probably winnable, but I made a mistake while unfortunately being distracted. So here's the deck list that I'm playing tonight. It's the same list as I've been running lately. I decided I wanted to try one crop rotation over the Cabal therapy, only because people have not really been respecting it from what I've noticed. Also, one of the things about therapy is it is weak to, or somewhat weak to, Grafdigger's Cage on the flashback, so its effective is somewhat limited, because if show and tell is popular in leagues or whatnot, then we don't want to be double hit by that. But although it is, to be in its defense, very good against show and tell otherwise. Yeah, I think unfortunately, yeah, we probably punted that game 3 because I didn't float the mana as Plague Engineer was on the stack, and I could have decayed Cage a turn earlier. Probably would have changed the game, to be honest. But hopefully I can improve. I'm still not very good at multitasking, and this is actually now, since it's a prelim, a little bit more pressure. So we'll see how the rest of this prelim goes. We're still waiting for the next round to start, unfortunately. Does chat have any questions about my list, by the way? I'm just curious. We lost a QB turtle. What we could do, it's a little risky though with two matches left. We could try to squeeze in one beforehand, but that's a little dangerous, I think. I'm also, because I'm not good at multitasking, double queuing tends to be hard for me. I still do feel 1 is correct. The reason being is, let me bring up my deck list. The reason why I think 1 is correct is because if you look, I've already trimmed on the number of mana producing elves that there are. So there's 3 Birch Lords, which are my effective mana dorks, 3 Heritage Druids, which is already trimming 1 from the stock 4. Only because it's the weakest elf. You can't really cut Ranger, Symbiote, or Visionary because you cut into the grinding aspect of the deck now. One way to make room, and I don't think it's the correct way, is to remove the Once Upon a Time from the deck, but Once Upon a Time gives you more keepable hands, which I like. So that leaves your silver bullets tend to be Oof, Shepherd, and Bajuka Bog. And I just don't think you can cut Bajuka Bog and Oof at this moment, because Bog is almost relevant in every match besides Chalice. And in a Chalice match, it's not the reason whether you win or lose. Oof is also really good right now with the popularity of Tess and Urza Echo. So hopefully that makes sense why I only run 1. Also, counter spells aren't really the reason why we lose. If Chalice is more popular, I could see increasing this number. But I don't think Chalice is too big of the metagame at the moment. Yeah, I don't board up Once Upon a Time at all. The reason being is, for those of you who play blue decks, this is kind of, Once Upon a Time is kind of like the Ponder in our deck. We rely on it for smoothing out our curves. Yeah, I only cut it kind of recently in the past few months. You just don't need it in my opinion to have 4. Um, Oof has been greater than Rex Sage in my opinion for a long time. I haven't played Rex Sage in at least half a year. I think the last time I played Rex Sage was probably before Eldraine came out. DNT. The thing about DNT is I have lost the matchup, and I've also won from the DNT side against elves. The only thing though is it is hard, and you do need to get you as the DNT player need to get a little lucky, and hope the elf player is either A overconfident, or B just draws really awkwardly. Yeah, I know some people still were on it prior to Shepherd, but with Shepherd, I don't even think it merits consideration anymore unless you want to hedge against Sneak and Show, specifically Omnitel, or Show and Tell decks in particular. It's good against DNT, but that's not where Elves needs help. And the reason why I don't like Rex Sage is because it's reactive, and when you draw, it is the worst feeling possible when it's irrelevant. Drop in GTA, yes and no. I would say GTA not being relevant is more of a reason not to run Rex Sage, but it's not the only reason because Oof is already an out to GTA, though not as great because they can just source it. The other thing is there's still block bounds. I'd be more concerned if there was like evasion with like True Name being relevant in the format, which it hasn't been in a while, plus GTA. So Stoneblade hasn't been on the map at all. From the DNT side, again, I don't think Elves needs help against DNT, and Flicker Wisp by itself is pretty bad. Yeah, True Name hasn't been around. The only place where I've seen True Name is the Blue-Red Delver list with Gut Shots, which that matchup I think is probably hard from my experience because anytime they can remove our elves for 0 mana, it's pretty good. Yeah, Rex Sage is good against Chalice, especially if you see it a lot in your meta. The only thing is, even without Rex Sage and prior to Shepherd, it's still beatable because what I would typically do in those matchups, is just grow my Scavenger Ooze out of their range, and then the Scavenger Ooze is bigger than anything they have typically out of the Chalice decks. And then the sideboard, you still have Natural Order, which is good against Chalice. Decays, obviously. And then Progenitus is just for the Plague Engineer decks. Or just any non-fast deck in general. So I don't board in Progenitus against Delver, Burn, or combo decks. Yeah, the single Cavern, I don't know if you saw earlier, was very awkward in the match that we lost. The reason why I'm running one is because 2 reasons. It's a white source that can be fetched up with Reclaimer for Archon if need be, and B, number 2, because we're only running one Shepherd. I think there's still value in forcing our creatures through Chalice of the Void. Lou, you gonna be a good boy? What is he playing with? What is that? So hopefully that answers the question about Cavern. Alright, so we're 0-1 right now, and we're still waiting on the last match. Hopefully we can redeem ourselves. I appreciate that, by the way. Yeah, it's a little awkward with this prelim. My other 3 streams in the past were during leagues, and because they were during the leagues, there's no awkward or long wait in between. So here we're just waiting because there's not enough time to queue up for another match. So there's 25 players in the prelim today. Also, I'm gonna bring up since we have some downtime, some of the major questions that I get a lot about elves. This is in the document that's also on my Discord channel for those who are interested. But yeah, I just wanted to list what are the pros and cons essentially of playing this deck. One of the biggest questions I get is how come no Nettle Sentinel? The reason why I don't play Nettle Sentinel is because I don't think you need it. It makes it easier, don't get me wrong, and there's definitely value in not having to think during your glimpse chains. But if you play tight, and assuming that you don't always have to kill your opponent on that specific turn, I think Reclaimer is just a better overall card. There's a reason why other decks that don't have any elf synergy are playing it, and we have arguably the strongest card in Legacy, or at least the most broken in Guy's Cradle. Also, like, the other question I get a lot, and I know there's a little bit of misconception, is can you actually win on turn 2 without Nettle Sentinel? And the answer is actually yes. I can go through it. It involves Curing Ranger, and it's, of course, through I'm excluding turn 2 natural order for Archon or anything like that. But it includes a Glimpse Star and a Cradle, but every Quirion Ranger and every Wirewood is essentially equivalent to a Nettle Sentinel during a Glimpse Chain. Wirewood being conditional that you have a Quirion Ranger on board. A Quirion Ranger being conditional that you have enough forests in play. While Green Suns also represent a virtual force. Once Upon a Time is a card that I know some people don't like because it's not a great card in the mid game. But I think, especially when the deck is already slowing down a little bit with Reclaimer for more control-y game plan, I think it helps with the speed of the deck because I can but look at 5 for whatever I need in the opening hand. Also for the 3 Once Upon a Time back cut. Let me see, just check on this. So, seems like it's still going on. For the 3 Once Upon a Time, I'm cutting 2 creatures and 1 land. So in general, there's more capable hands because I have fewer hands where it's all creatures or all lands and not enough of the other. Better mix. And late in the game, it's actually underrated in my opinion because you think, oh, you have to pay 2 mana, but on turn, maybe 6 and above, finding the other piece of the Wirewood plus Visionary engine is pretty important to grind out match. So I answered this earlier about the why only one Allosaurus Shepherd. Another question I frequently get is how come no Mana Dorks? The thing about Mana Dorks is they're great on turn 1, but besides that, they're pretty bad top decks overall. And Bursal Rangers is a virtual Mana Dork because you can still have 3. You can still generate 1 mana with a second elf on turn 2. It won't let you Green Sun for 2 on turn 2, but every other line is still accessible. The utility of Morph and producing color mana while being a mini Heritage Druid is also pretty big for Glimpse. Flex spots I talked about. The sideboard. So in general, I build my sideboards, especially for leagues, because I don't play many challenges. Typically only the showcases of anything. But in leagues especially, there's a ton of combo, and you want to be able to beat combo consistently. The reason why Thoughtseize is such an important card, in my opinion, for elves, is because it's a card you can bring in against control as well. And I found it to be really good for either stripping Plague Engineers or Force of Will. There are things like Counterbalance that it can occasionally take that is problematic, or Jace the Mind Sculptor for anybody on the old school blue-white Miracles list. The turn 2, I don't care for. Yeah, I've had this discussion with so that's a good point, Yod. I don't think L's benefits really from trying to speed up the deck because at the end of the day, there's always going to be Storm, and right now Test is really popular, or Show and Tell, or any graveyard-based deck like Reanimator or Dredge. That's going to be typically a full turn or half a turn faster than we are, especially something like Reanimator, which is probably 2 turns faster than we are. And I just don't think we benefit from trying to win that arms race with other combo decks when we're typically slower than those combo decks anyways. So we can slow down, just make the deck more resilient in my eyes. And like you said, the turn 2 is just rare. It hurts that we don't have as high a percentage with getting turn 2 Archon because of no mana dorks, but even then you can still do it with Burst, it's just a little bit harder in this version. So less likely, essentially. A card I want to talk about a little bit that I think is misunderstood is Leyline of the Void. I know a lot of people don't like this card in general, but Elves doesn't get to play Force of Will, and there are decks in Legacy right now that can kill you turn 1 before you even play your first land draw. Fortunately, a lot of those decks are soft to Leyline of the Void. So while we don't get to play Force of Will, I want to say that Leyline of the Void is almost like a non-blue deck's version of Force of Will because it's relevant against Echoes of the Aeons, Reanimator, Dredge. I think the one problematic period where Leyline was at its weakest and I actually cut all of them was when Gyruda was really popular, and only because Leyline doesn't interact with Gyruda. So during that period, I boarded in. I played 4 prop rotation to 75, but then that made me soft to Reanimator, which you can accept. It's fine. Okay, so Eli mentioned the Mindbreak Trap. Mindbreak Trap is great if you're expecting Tess. My issue is I typically run into Reanimator in a lot of leagues, more than Tess, I would say. Drawing extra ley line is definitely awkward. You can hardcast it, which I've done many times. So I will say Belcher, any kind of Storm deck, Mindbreak Trap is definitely, I would agree Mindbreak Trap is better against Storm than Leyline for sure, even if it's a graveyard-based Storm deck like Ant, for instance. Belcher, Leyline is relevant, but only if they try to echo against you, so you kind of have to get lucky in that matchup. I've beaten it, but Belcher is probably on the harder side of matchups that you can possibly face. Okay, our round 2 is going to start. Oops. So enough for this for now. J Holland 42. This hand is pretty bad. 5 lands. Yep, appreciate you guys enjoying that. So Bog is almost like a mole, so that goes to the bottom. Especially since we don't know what our opponent's on. So Once Upon a Time. So it's either the Mirror, Maverick, it could be Cephalid Breakfast, or Depths. We'll know once they reveal the card. Okay, so it's the Mirror. Yeah, for those who are unaware, the Mirror is pretty miserable to play. It's pretty luck-based in my opinion, because whoever goes first typically wins. So here, I'm just gonna Once Upon a Time first. We need to get going, so I think we keep the Visionary. The good thing is we do have a payoff spell. So it doesn't really matter which forest we play because it doesn't really matter which forest we play because we don't need color the first game anyways. Yeah, the mirror is just miserable in general for most matchups. I heard the Delver mirror is somewhat interesting. I mean, and I've played the Delver mirror a few times. In my experience, whoever has removal probably wins. But again, a lot of it's just luck, right? Although there is more play in the Delver mirror, I would say, than a combo, mirror, than a combo mirror like this. And we're on the draw, so I think we're probably unfavored to win here. Especially if we have a blank and collector. Oof. Hey, what are you eating? I don't know what my dog's eating. But at least it's calm now. That's the bright news. So something I've also noticed is so my opponent has Once Upon a Time, which makes me think that he might be on my version. But from my own experience, at least, I tend to get paired against a lot of players playing the traditional classic list with Nano Sentinels. So here, Shepherd is, we want to kind of hide it so that they don't know. We can potentially swing for a lot of damage in one turn. I don't think it's going to matter here because there's so many chump blockers. But just good heuristics. Here we just want to dig deep and to find a payoff spell. It's very likely, especially if our opponent knew what we were on, that we're already dead because they have a natural order in hand. So here we have the natural order. The problem is we just gotta hope that our opponent doesn't have the kill the following turn, so we'll see. Actually, playing the Once Upon a Time here doesn't help because we'll be at 1 mana. Might as well just play out our guys to block. I have had it where my opponent in the mirror has had non-lethal combat before, and I won the crackback. So depends how they sequence here, especially. But they do have a couple live draws, so I think we are likely dead. So they played a Visionary, which gives me some hope because they could have natural ordered already if they had it. So that's hopeful. We still could be dead, but it would be through a green sun line, I think. Because I think it was already lethal with natural order on board. Unless they drew it right now. Hardcast hook? Yeah. Looks like it's a hardcast hoof. Or... Huh. They might still be digging then. House the Forest, that's a... They might be... That's... Wow, okay, we got lucky here. I think we might have stolen this match. Or this game, at least. There is no reason to bounce the Visionary here. With natural order already in our hand. So... Actually, hold on. We can once upon a time get another creature to make it even more. That's not worth playing because you don't want to draw your win condition. Yeah, I know some of that might seem like it's unnecessary, but something I like to do, especially if the cost is minimal, is to keep good habits so I don't get sloppy. I won't do that though if it takes too much time because I don't want to waste my opponent's time, nor do I want to waste my own. In the cases like that where it's only a few seconds, I will try to, maintain good habits. Here we want to board in the crop rotation and the discard spells. We have some pretty bad cards in Oof, Bajuka Bog, and then we can board out part of the best friend combo. For those who are curious, I'll bring up that sideboard map again. This has a Cabal Therapy instead. I haven't updated for the version I'm playing today with one crop, but as you can see, I board in one Wirewood, 2 Visionary. I board out 1 Wirewood, 2 Visionary. Also, thanks for the raid, Eli, earlier. I want to point out one thing in case you haven't noticed. Because of the popularity of goblins, I have added it. Okay, this is a typo. It should be aggro. I have added goblins to my cheat sheet. It's been there for a while, but I'm not sure if you saw it, Eli. Yeah, I know, right? Like, I remember the first week or so when everybody was on that Muxus train, especially after Jarvis had streamed. I was seeing goblins everywhere, and I was like, okay, I gotta update the cheat sheet because before I didn't see goblins in too many leagues, besides maybe playing against yourself or a few others. But yeah, it's everywhere now. It's I don't know if it's definitely on my radar, so I made sure to reflect that accordingly in my spreadsheet. So I don't know if that's good or bad for you, Eli. So here we have a turn. Oh, it's kind of a slower hand because the problem here is you can play 3 guys on turn 2 and then maybe play 1 more, but it's not even lethal on turn 3, so I think we mull this back. Are you an elf-only player? No. Well, I think it depends what you mean. Online, yes, I only play elves typically. I have D&T built too, but only a few people have seen me play it. I don't think we can afford to go lower than this. On paper, I play a ton of decks. I play Delver, I play D&T, I play Ant, though not well. I play Elves. I think I play most decks on paper besides maybe Chalice decks. That I have not, but I don't suspect it'd be too hard to pick up. Do you have goblins on paper? Yes and no. I have it, but not Legacy Goblins. I have EDH, Grenzo Dungeon Warden EDH built. So that's kind of like a half, I guess. Here, I feel like unless our opponent kept a really sketch hand, we're probably behind. I just don't think we can go to 5 is the problem. Okay, so my suspicion was correct. They are on a Nettle Sentinel build. It's funny, yeah. I could build goblins, I think. I would, because I have the mana base from D&T. The only issue is I have 1 Badlands, so I guess I might need a second. Okay. But and the goblins aren't too expensive to build. All right, so the way that they just played right now, it's almost as if they have an natural order the following turn. We have to get a little lucky here, and we did not. So we're very likely dead, but we'll see. I just don't think we can go to 5 realistically and win. Yeah, the creatures are dirt. The creatures are dirt cheap. I know this from buying myself the single copy that I have for the deck. Although some cards I have 2 or 3 copies of because I have a foil and a non-foil as I was upgrading my EDH deck. I think I have like 2 Crater Makers, 1 foil and 1 non-foil, a couple of the other ones like Trash Master. So my opponent is thinking. That tells me that they probably don't have natural order because I would have slammed it already. They might have a green sun in their hand. Yeah, natural order here would be lethal, I believe, because you have 1, 2, 3 creatures. So 3 mana, green sun for 2. No, it might be the natural order. Maybe they were just counting. Yeah, I think they were counting. Alright, we're dead. So that's 11, 20 damage. So we can block 2, go to 1, and then yeah. I think given that we're up a game, we can afford to just keep that 6. I think going to 5 is a losing proposition because our hands don't really get better other than Thoughtseize. And even in the case of a Thoughtseize, they can easily go turn 1 Thoughtseize or Thoughtseize, and we're just way behind. Yeah, Muxus is kind of pricey, but Jumpstart should come out, and I think it's unlimited print run unless there's a demand. So I think it should be okay. Actually, I just remember, Eli, you get a sword. Same for your. I'll just add some swords for people. I'm still new to Twitch, so forgive me if I mess up. If I'm doing something like I can't even tell right now if somebody is ghosting me. Nice. So our hand is actually really good here. We have a payoff spell and we have a disruption spell. In general, in the combo mirror, I like to lead with Thoughtseize. It's different with elves because we don't die turn 1, and they also can't hide what they have with Brainstorm. So here, I think I'm just gonna fetch first, so because I don't want to see it with the Once Upon a Time. Ranger. So we actually have the turn 2 here, which is nice. To be fair, Green Sun is a creature. It's a virtual mana dork. It's funny you mentioned this. In the challenge, I actually played against Expedition Michael Mapson, and I kept the hand. He Thoughtseize me turn 1 to play with no creatures, and it had a Caracas, and he was on Turbo Depths, and I ended up winning game 2. He won game 3, but he was like, "I can't believe you beat me game 2, keeping a hand with no creatures." I went turn 1 fetch and passed because What's up, Romero? How's it going? Archon. So here we just take Archon, and especially since they're on the Nettle version, I don't think they have too many outs to beating this Archon other than the same Archon or Craterhoof. You don't want to wait a turn in general with elves. When in doubt, I always jam, unless I can afford not to. But I think more things can go wrong when you wait. Okay, so they have Reclaimer too, which is interesting. As well as Nettle, so they must be on some kind of hybrid version. I want to give a quick shout out also to my wife right now, who is keeping my dog calm. Or our dog, I should say. Our dog is 1.5.
Joe Kelly hit freshman.
So my wife just told me right now, if you follow baseball, we're Dodger fans. So the Dodgers are, whoa. Jeez, okay. I guess that is not good. Oh, I will let my wife know that she said that, Francisco. Judy,
What?
Francisco's wife was, Francisco is who I played in the showcase.
Uh-huh.
His wife was listening and heard me say, "Oh, I gave my wife a shout out," and she's like, "Oh." All right, so I'm 0-2 in this prelim, not going very well. I think we'll try to salvage it at 3-2 maybe, but with 20 minutes on the clock, I think we can actually get in another match on the side. So I'm gonna add back. Actually, the crop was fine. I think I didn't even draw it. Yeah, I think it was fine. Our hand, like, we didn't expect the opponent to keep to have the Craterhoof natural on 3, but I mean it does happen. I think we do have time to just play another round in between. So I'll just queue up a league. Because, and then we get punished, it's okay. We're 0-2 already, anyways already. There really isn't. I agree, Romero. I also am not sure any qualifier points. I just play because I saw that it was going to fire today. And maybe I don't know. Maybe I drop at 0-2. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's the correct play, but we'll see. Yeah, unfortunately, from everything Eli has told me or that I've read, leagues are just a lot of nonsense right now. And what I mean by that is either decks that are bruised, so you won't realistically run into them in a league. Yeah, I haven't dropped, and it's weird for me because I typically do okay in the prelims, so it's weird to start 0-2 for once. But yeah, 300 play points is still worth it, and I might as well ride it out. If nothing else for the stream, just to see what it's like, because it's a more competitive setting than leagues. Leagues is more a lot of combo from my experience. So Dragon Day Dragon, I saw was also in the prelim, so they might have had the same. Okay, so speaking of combo. They might have had the same idea as us and just try to kill time with leagues in between. Oh, speaking of which, Francisco, I enjoyed your stream a lot earlier today. I know it was my first time tuning in, but definitely cool to see you work your magic with your signature deck. Yeah, I think I missed where you put in the Titan off the Aether Vial, but seeing the Reclaimer line for the Valaka was pretty sweet. I can appreciate that. Alright, so we're essentially dead to Reanimator. Game 1, I typically will lose this matchup, or this match, game 1. Yeah, I was actually saying on Francisco's stream too that Goblins does the same thing. I'm gonna concede. There's no point in playing this. Yeah, I definitely love myself a Reclaimer too. Here's our favorite boy right here. Trying to make amulet. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Romero, I'm telling you, you gotta get on the elves. This is a sweet deck. I'll personally guide you through it if you need any help. I'm always available. So card rotation is actually kind of handy here in this league because it's much better than the therapy would have been. Yeah, Reclaimer, I don't doubt, is probably underexplored in Modern. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Modern enough to know what are the broken lands, besides maybe Valakut. But I know definitely the reason why I'm playing it is... let me change this. I have the ugly version, sorry still. Francisco, I have the ugly Cradle, but this is essentially the main reason I play Reclaimer in this deck. The reason why I haven't changed it too is because I noticed a price difference between this ugly Cradle and the normal one. Game 2. I know. My bad, Francisco. I needed to update this. I promise I'm working on it. I just put it off because of the current price difference on Goat bots. So here, I mentioned earlier, Leyline of the Void, very polarizing card, but I like it. I think it's kind of like the non-blue Force of Will. I know, it is terrible that I'm not running the nice printing of Gaia's Cradle. Alright, so let's see. Do we open with a Leyline? Snap Keep. Here's a trick of mine that I like to do. Most people assume that I have running Leyline, so I like to keep hands that don't have actually, if it's reasonable enough. And the reason being is because they will keep hands with like Reverend Silence or whatnot. Here, Cradle. Reclaimer, we still died to a turn 1, so I want to leave with the Thoughtseize here. See, they kept the hand with Reverend Silence. No reanimation spell, and no Black Source, so we easily take the Entomb. Yeah, it's definitely risky, and a lot of people might think it's crazy, but it works out more often than not that on the play, Reclaimer or Thoughtseize gets there. I wouldn't keep Reclaimer on the draw though; it's too slow. Yeah, the trick though is you have to snap keep, because if you think about it, they think you don't have it, which is the Leyline. Alright, so we have the natural order the following turn. And as far as we know, they don't have pitch or reanimation spell right now, so we're in good shape, I think. I boarded out Archon, by the way, in this matchup. I boarded out Archon in this matchup, by the way, because So here, how much the damage is that? So that'd be 3 plus 8. That's not enough.
The Astro hitters now know that to get a strike, he's defaulting to his breaking ball. So give them what they're looking for, or put it in a hard place to hit. That one there, not in a hard place to hit.
Yeah, you don't want them reanimating our Archon, which is I've had it happen before, so I stopped keeping it in. I think here we can once. Ranger was a good draw. What? 1, 2. So here we can actually hardcast the ley line. Since natural order isn't lethal. They have Rev Silence, but that's still another card that they would have to pitch. They can't pitch to now to the Faithless Looting. Hey, how's it going, man? Yeah, Archon could still be good, but it's beatable, like I said, with Animate Dead. We know they have the Reverend Silence, but then we're playing for lethal the next turn anyways. Oh, thanks, Laura Rivendell. Yeah, Progenitus might be worth it because, although I think it's too slow, the reason being is we need a creature here potentially. So that works. Remember, every fetch is a virtual creature. So there's a chance actually that we shouldn't have played the ley line to conceal information. Agree. Ley line is still better than no line. But because we knew that they had a reverent silence. So the hard part is winning game 3 now, especially since they know we have ley line. So some more. So this is an interesting hand. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to tank on it a little bit and then keep, because then they will think I kept a hand without ley line just like before, but we'll see. So I think that's a reasonable amount of time. Oh, I clicked on the wrong button there. Okay, so here I think, yeah, that was bad. I misclicked there. Here I think they mulligan. I'm just gonna keep, or they might be mulligan.
You find out somebody's cheating on the playground back in school, you're gonna get some of those facial expressions the next time you play. You know, this is,
Yeah, that was not too good.
stuff. This is like, you know what? Guys acting like children. You didn't
Yeah, definitely. That's a misplay right there, or misclick.
Well, with the warnings, if anything comes close to him, he could get kicked out. So you've got that penalty.
2-0.
Social distancing has really protected the Astros from a lot of the battle, not only on the field but in the stands.
I think we want Ranger for the untap.
And with all the articles that would be written about every incident or every time something like this comes up.
Yeah, it was awkward. We meant to keep the hand with the ley line, and then we clicked on the wrong card. Turns out they had the answer anyways, so that's kind of good.
The interview face to face, they go into a room and there's cameras and the reporters ask.
It might actually benefited us, to be honest, which is funny.
So there's so much.
They might have been onto our
I don't think there's any question that the Astros benefit.
plan there.
First off, layoff between spring training and the start of the season, and the fact that there are
Oh.
fans. They benefit more than any
I should have played the bog there. That was a misclick.
city that we're going to go into. That
Hopefully we don't get punished here.
Here's Muncie.
And nobody was going to have any banner or poster rules when they came in, so they were going to get to read it, not only hear it, but read it.
Oh, okay, we dodged for a turn for. Sorry, chat. I'm playing real sloppy right now.
There would be a tremendous amount of pressure.
Yeah, that is misplayed for sure. Or I rushed it. Definitely should have bogged there because we knew their hand, but we did not get punished, fortunately. For those who believe in the theory that I get lucky, this is evidence of it for sure. There's no reason to run our. Well, yeah, there's no reason to run our Ranger in.
Maybe good base runner defense. Of 80% success rate in his career.
So now our top decks are better than theirs because they need 2 cards now. We just need 1.
Such an aggressive base runner that he once stole 2 bases on 1 pitch.
Okay.
And his Fenway Park.
I think here we can just attack. We have to start putting pressure on.
The very first game at Fenway, very first opening day, I should say, at Fenway, he takes off, steals second, immediately pops up, sees nobody home at third, races there, dives in safely. That's one of 11 times that's happened in the history of the game. Here's a throw down to first, taking advantages.
Yeah, they probably thought we top decked the bog there, which is funny.
He also scored from first on a single.
So that's very good. They likely have a. Well, actually, I don't know what they have. It's a flashback probably right now.
Both well out of first place. Last day of the year. That's ball 3 on Muncie. He leads off
So we still dodged some fatties being binned, so that's good.
Rafael Devers punches
And we do have many top decks.
routine jump, not down the line.
I think here we just want to cycle the Shepherd.
He's the right fielder taking his time to get to the ball. Keeps on going and dives in home with the winning run to end his Red Sox career. A meaningless
We just thought seized them because if it was a creature, they would have pitched it. That was a huge thought seize, by the way.
That's the kind of thing.
Okay, we have 3 mana. Wait, 4, 5, 6 mana.
And doesn't it have to be the complete picture?
So I'm gonna attack with both and see if they got block.
Yes, it does, especially when he hasn't even played a game for you.
Here's Turner. They're 5-2 game in the 7th. No.
So this looks good for us. That's likely a reanimation spell maybe by now. It has been a few draws. Actually, it likely is because like Zoom's here.
Much fun he finds in
But we have lethal the following turn, so it's fine.
interaction down in the Astros bullpen.
They may
We talked about it before on some of the
they may be pitching they may be reanimating Children of Corliss here to stay alive.
They puts that one away
Alright, that was sweet. Yeah, the prelim fired, but I'm not doing too hot anyways. Yeah, especially against Reanimator, which is not a very forgiving deck to misclick against. And we misclicked twice. Yeah, that I can't take any credit. That was actually accidental mulling of the ley line. Yeah, I punted game 1 or match 1 because I got distracted and I lost to what I think is a good matchup against Bug Delver. Round 2 was the mirror, and game 3 they had the natural hoof to beat Archon, which is part of the game. So I played 3 matches tonight so far. I lost to Bug Delver by misplaying, not paying attention, and then I lost the mirror to Elves, and I just beat Reanimator despite multiple punts with misclicks. Yeah, I did lose the mirror just when I said I was starting to beat the mirror. That's right, Jack. You're calling me out for it. So for those who are out of the loop, Jack and I had this discussion today. I told him I had been winning the mirror lately, but I also said I had been winning the mirror against non-reclaimer versions. So that's still accurate. My opponent did have reclaimer. Maybe that's the trick to win the mirror. Let's see. How much time is left in the other match? So 40 minutes. Yes, we do. Jack is in the same time zone as me on the West Coast. I think he's in the Bay Area. So despite it being past midnight, I'll still respond to his text in our secret elf chat. I think he's usually playing still by that time. Let's see. So Jack, you missed some very next level accidental plays earlier. I accidentally mowed away a ley line hand against Reanimator. And then I'm in LA, Francisco, in Brea, in Orange County. But I grew up in the LA area. Yeah, Elves After Dark. Sometimes in his bedroom too. Yeah, I think I saw that somewhere, but I forget. Which city are you in, Francisco? In LA? I'm assuming LA County, right? Oh, you live in the Valley. Okay, so like San Fernando? Tarzana, okay. Nice. Yeah, so I guess we're all on the West Coast here. Between you, myself, and Jack. And I know Eli is over on Central Time, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, we can have a Reclaimer stream. Romero, where are you at? I think you're in Virginia, right? Or maybe I could be misremembering. You're on the wrong coast. Yeah, I think David is on the East Coast, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I've been handing out swords to people who have been here on consecutive weeks. So let me add more. I'm like handing out like Oprah. Oh yeah. Okay, so Romero, you are in Virginia. That's what I thought. Wasn't sure. Maryland, yep. So especially since it's 11:30 over there, I appreciate you East Coast guys tuning in. Prelim's not going too well while streaming, but hey, gotta start somewhere while we stream. This is the first time I've streamed a prelim, especially since I think this is my, I want to say, fourth stream, I believe. Yeah, total overall. Yeah, I think this is my fourth stream, and the other ones, none of the prelims have fired. I think one of them was only a Monday too, so. Yeah, pretty much. I'm Oprah handing out swords to people who've been here like every week so far. So Lord of Rivendell, if you keep coming, you can get a store too. 2 a.m. Oh, that's perfect with my stream. I probably will end no later than 11. 1 second. I'm gonna use the restroom for a second. I'll be right back. Sorry, I was on mute. The dog tonight, he was terrorizing me earlier, but he's calm now thanks to my wife, who's calming him, who's playing with him. So something I thought about as I took the break right now was I probably punted, to be honest, against the elf player as well. I could have led with Thoughtseize on that turn 2 instead of going for the turn 2 natural order, because it would have been protected anyways, barring a top deck. We don't know if they top deck the Cradle Hoof later on or not, but I think in hindsight, I probably wait till turn 3, so it's potentially lethal with the natural order. Have you ever seen a good article on prudent strategies for using Arcana? I have not seen an article. I've seen some people who've had their opinions on whether Archon, which matchups Archon is good and bad against. In general, you can probably find my opinions on it just by looking at the sideboard map when I board it in and out. Also, in the another tab of my sideboard guide, I also rank on a scale 1 to 5. I think a card's effectiveness is in the respective matchup. Yeah, there's an article. I think multiple people have had like their own version of when to board in Archon and when it's good. All right, let's see who we will be playing in this next match. So this league we can put on hold for now. In general, I like Archon against non-Oko decks. That's pretty accurate statement, I think. There are some matches where I think it's good, but Progenitus is an upgrade. Some examples of that are Eldrazi, Post, some variants of lands that are blue based. So yeah, if we lose this next match, then we can draw.
All kinds of mental tricks that athletes use.
It does feel weird to start 0-2 in a prelim for once, but gotta start somewhere.
Really, it started with, look, man, you got to get a third pitch because Caleb still has aspirations to be a starter at some point. But he came off that. Can't do that with just fastball curve.
So I got the bye, which is kind of funny. I did not know the other Elves player. I didn't recognize that name. So we can play a league match, I guess.
Well, he had a fastball curve. Now it's fastball curve Sunday, but he said it's weird.
I think there's a possibility Theo is on Elves too from the participants. He had asked me about Elves earlier today, for what it's worth. Actually, what I can do in the downtime is I can go over the my sideboard map and kind of show which matches I think Archon is really good. In general, it's very good against Combo and Delver. It is also very good against some Chalice decks, while others it's okay, but I board in Progenitus because it's an upgrade. Yes, I am watching the Dodgers, Jack, or my wife Judy is. I know, you're a Giants fan, or maybe an A's fan. Not sure. Yeah, I gave you a sword, and anybody else who's been here, back-to-back weekends, or back-to-back weeks, I should say. Wow, there's multiple Jacks. Clone effects going on here. Yeah, so the Dodgers are playing the Astros right now, and my wife told me that we beat one of their players as punishment for the cheating. Alright. I don't know what they're on, nor do I recognize their username. This is fine. I think I saw them play Nathan Lippitz, or I hope I'm pronouncing it right, yesterday when I was watching Nathan's stream. I don't remember what they're on. I feel like it was Infect, but I could be wrong.
It's even easier to get started with Kia's Trade Assist Cash. Multiple IIHS top safety picks.
Yeah, the MLB is a mess right now. I agree, Jack. So that's pretty much what we discussed earlier, right? During Pillow Talk. So Jack, I think you missed it earlier, but I brought up Jack is a big proponent of Nettle Sentinel, and I brought up the reasons, essentially why I think, or why I like my version, or why I play this current version. And one of the most commonly asked questions is, why Reclaimer over Nettle? So they likely are on infect based on the noble hierarch start off the trop. Also, the fetch is a rainforest. So here, we can, let's see.
Stay connected to the Dodgers. Subscribe and follow us online.
You can't buy a
We can actually natural order for instant. And that's pretty good. The problem is, I think they sometimes have Oko, which would be awkward. Yeah, I have the document posted on my Discord channel for those who are interested. Let's see. We play. We're not under a ton of pressure yet, so that's why we can afford to wait a turn for the natural order. And if they daze it, they set themselves back. Okay, so that's really good. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up my Discord channel real quick. So here's my Discord channel. The documents are in here on the resources tab. So there's the blighted agent we were talking about earlier. That's true, the infection can happen fast, especially now with a blighted agent. So I'm going to leave with Glimpse, and they kind of have to force it, in my opinion, because they know a Visionary's in it. Actually, hold on. Yeah, that's fine.
People have astutely pointed out on social media that while Joe Kelly wasn't on the 2017 Dodgers, he was on the 2017 Astros, or 2017 Red Sox, who were knocked out in the division series by the Astros. Punch to right, it'll drop in and give AJ Pollock a 3-hit night.
The reason why I bounce the Ranger here is because I want to be able to generate more mana.
These are necessary hits for guys that are coming off rough
And keep Cradle as a live draw.
trying to get a fast start. Chris Taylor maybe.
So here, Green Sun, if I Green Sun for 2, that can be, oh sorry, for 1, that's a Ranger. I can bounce
All right, put the work in. You got 60 games.
an Elf.
Turn around already.
So I'll bounce the force I play, and that'll be 3.
Hernandez, 1 to 3.
That'll be exactly 4.
It's been a fun night.
Thank you, Joe Kelly.
I was going to say thank you, Joe Higgs,
I
but
think,
I'm sorry, no, okay.
Hmm.
I guess.
I'm with you.
Maybe we don't want to compliment our crew too much, but we still need to keep saying it. Because what
this plays into days, but I think that's fine.
they've done to sync this up. Mike Levy, our producer, flew with the team and is in Houston, making sure all the feeds get back here to Los Angeles, to Alana, and to us in the booth, Jaime Marie, Fernando, and Pepe. And it has worked flawlessly so far. And I think it will continue. They're showing their stripes.
Our ops man here at home, Patrick Corrine, who is responsible also for headed department in the air conditioning.
There is a chance they have Oko.
Power for them to have.
Scale up is another out.
Early PDCs, I have no idea how we handle this, but I got it. DC gets turned down immediately. Our director, Dan Dylan, is in his first year as the lead director of the Dodgers, 1 year
So it's good that they're passing priority here. That means we can't die. And then we have lethal the following turn. So 3. Actually, let's see. 3. I think we're short mana, unfortunately.
An extra hour early today to see how the booth was going to be set up, what feeds we're going to get, which monitors, how we're going to put this together. Everybody, anytime we had a question or a need, somebody was there to pick it on.
I'm looking for a cradle here.
The games aren't as fun without the fans in the stands, and Mike Lee, our producer, has said the road trips aren't as fun without it. That's whatever.
Yeah, the few times it is short on mana.
It's an entirely new world for the guys going on the road. Dave Roberts was talking about that with us earlier today, but everything from boxed lunches on the plane instead of a buffet, and, you know, snacks in the overhead department.
Oh, instance off. That's right.
Yeah, temperature checks. Basically, you get off the plane, you get on the bus, straight to the hotel, to your room, and that's it. He said he's never seen so many video game consoles getting on and off the major league plane. That's what they're all doing.
And play the bog, I guess. Casey has become immense. 2, 4. And then we have lethal the following turn because Reclaimer will get a cradle now. So scale up is 6 plus 1, 7. I think we're still safe. And they're passing, so that's good for us anyways. They should only attack with one agent there. Yeah, I think they realize the writing's on the wall. Because even without the green sun in hand, Shepherd's lethal. Or at least makes blocks real bad. So this league is going okay so far. One question might be like, why not the Cabal Pit? I think it's too slow in this matchup. It could be okay. The games can go long, but I think it's too slow. And then for those curious, here's how I'm boarding. Yeah, exactly. Even against Delver, which is like similar tempo deck, sometimes the Cabal Pit doesn't get online in time. I think especially here against Infect, if the game has gone long enough where Pit becomes relevant, you're probably already doing something right there. And I guess fading, you're fading their top decks at that point, or whatever outs did they have. The Cabal Pit though is a bad opening card typically because it doesn't really do anything at the beginning of the game besides cast Abrupt Decay. This is a. I think the amount of disruption we have is just the 4 Thoughtseize and the decay. I think we probably still keep here. It's not great, but they mold also. The issue with trying to mold for Thoughtseize or Decay is sometimes you have Decay and they have Inkmoth. Other times you have Thoughtseize and they have a bunch of pump spells, so it doesn't really matter. You get set behind. So Island is very awkward for them. That's very awkward start. And Shuffle means they either don't have a threat, I think, or they don't have green mana, which is even worse, I think, than not having a threat. So here I fetched because I didn't want to potentially see Bayou as one of the 5, given that I already have 4 lands in hand. Heritage Druid would be a great find right here because it enables a turn 2 Archon. Wow. Okay. So every once in a while, this does happen once upon a time. I think this is only my 5th time or so that this has happened. All of that's actually really good there, which is funny. But yeah, it doesn't happen often, but that is probably like the 5th or time or so that's happened to me. And I think I won 2 of the 3 where it's whiffed like that. Or I don't remember exactly. It's definitely less than 5. So it could be Blighted Agent here. Spyglass is interesting. So here I'm kind of glad I diversified my fetches because it may matter down the road if he names a fetch here. I don't think he will. Or they will. I think of the times that I've actually I think one of the things for diversifying your fetches is so you don't get hit with a Spyglass on the, for instance, when you're on the draw and they have it game 1. It's probably in the sideboard if I were to guess, but I think it's only happened to me once or twice at all, even when I wasn't diversifying fetches before. But I did promise myself if it were to ever happen to me, yeah, in this deck it's strange. Nito's better, I agree. So here, let's see. We have the turn 3 Archon, and I think that's probably what we want to play for. The thing about that is, Chalice decks typically don't really have many activated abilities you care about, aside from Post and maybe now the Karn decks. Yeah, it's a Newton stream. How's it going, Demosian? So now on the next turn we have a dilemma. Do we want to force the natural order through, or do we want to play conservative with the keeping the abrupt decay? And I think given that we can just win here, and they don't have green, we just go for the win. And they force, that's fine too. So that's lethal. Yeah. When in doubt, go for the win. The exception is if you think you can't lose.
Hi, I'm Josh Flynn from Mercedes-Benz International. Our customers are first responders, young families, and members of the armed forces. All drivers
So,
are affordable.
barring a submerge or anything like that right here,
With certified
I feel pretty good.
have 0% APR up to 36 months on AC and E-Class models. Click mbtemecula.com for details. It's time to drive something you love. Together, we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz Automotive.
So let's see. We're doing pretty good in this league. Yeah, I think they might have been better off mulling that hand. That seemed kind of a weak hand without green. I knew they were, and to be fair, they had a ponder, but ponders do miss. I think I've been in the same situation before where I had a once upon a time and kept a 1 or 0 land hand and just whiffed. Here it's 20 minutes. I think we even have another chance for another match in between. That's pretty funny. Yeah, any the joke, right? Any hand with ponders good, right? It's gonna hit. So I think we have time to actually play another match. Yeah, and to be fair, also my once upon a times dig 5 deep instead of 3 deep, or 4, I guess, with the 4 deep with the shuffle, shuffle, yeah. I think once upon a time, I'd like to play 4 copies. The problem is 2 reasons. One, and probably the bigger reason, I don't really ever want to have 2 in my opening hand. It's pretty bad. The second reason why I like playing 4 once upon a time, or I have before, and it was good in the past. But why I'm not at the moment is because there just isn't enough room, and I think it's one of the weak. The 4th once upon a time is one of the weaker cards. So here's something I just noticed. Tom Hep, who's a phenomenal turbo depths and bug depths player, just depths anything in general, has now taken the lead in the annual trophy leader race. Okay, we're playing against Viverus, Alex McKinley. The last few times I played against him, he was on. No, it's too hard. I think I would have to play a faster deck than else, and my version is pretty grindy. So I thought they were on Delver, but it looks like they're on test today. The last few times, like I said, they were on Delver when I played them. Yeah, Tom's a great guy. So interesting thing that happened today. I retweeted him that he was playing, streaming tomorrow, and I called him the best depth player around. And Brian Cook gave a shout out to Dave Long, who I don't know well, but I take it Dave is also a great depth player. And Tom actually deferred and said, "Oh yeah, other depth players are better than me," or in a way that he said that he's very humble. I'll just put it that way. So second land is good here. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Dave. I know. I recognize the name. I just haven't played against Dave before, and I believe that he's very good. I was just trying to retweet Tom, and Tom was being humble. Is all I'm saying. I fully believe Dave is very good. I just haven't interacted with him before and just happened to say, "Oh, Tom is the best depth player." So I'm likely dead here, being on the draw, but we shall see. In hindsight, I might have just been better off leading with Heritage Druid because it would be better in case Alex echoed, and it's more relevant than Reclaimer because it can allow for a potential turn 2 Natural Order or turn 2 Green Sun for Oof. Reclaimer doesn't really do much in this matchup, unfortunately. Wow. Yeah, I fully believe Dave is a very good player. I just don't know. I haven't interacted with him before. It's funny because Brian Cook tagged Dave, and so I clicked on his Twitter profile and saw he had 12 SCG top 8, so that's pretty impressive for sure. Yeah, if he didn't play online, and because I don't play in person, at least not big events usually, I guess that makes sense why I've never really run into it, Dave. So here, I think I should, yeah, I'm dead. Yeah, I fully believe it with 8 SCG top 8s, or maybe it was 12. I don't remember. Okay. So, Alex had the turn 2, and I think for us to have any chance in this matchup, we have to keep a fast hand. And I thought he might have been on Delver, so this hand was fine. I know he also played. I recognize the name too because I know he played Lance for a while. To be fair, actually, Leyline we didn't even need Leyline to beat Reanimator, which is the funny thing. So Eli, you might be onto something. I think you were there when I beat Reanimator without Leyline, or accidentally mulling Leyline. But so here. So maybe this is on the chopping block. Although this is very good against Karn or Urza Echo. The thing also is, I feel like, and maybe I'm being, what is it called? Paranoid? I feel like there are spies in my Discord chat, by the way. Because test pilots seem to always be aware of how I'm sideboarding. And I don't know what's going on, or maybe it's coincidence, but it's very fishy to me. Very fishy indeed. So Bog is bad in this matchup for those unaware. It's possible, yeah, I don't know. Like, I was curious one time, and I went to the Storm Discord, and I saw one person, I'm not going to say who it is, but they posted Reclaimer L's, this is how they're boarding. And I was a little bit kind of iffy because I don't ask other people from my Discord to report back to me, which is funny. I think we have to keep this. The reason being is because we don't have much interaction otherwise. Yikes. Okay, that's a whiff. Usually, I'll bring up the Once Upon a Time percentages later. You have a 75% or roughly 75% chance of hitting, so I like my chances there. It just didn't work out, and then it ended up being okay anyways. Yeah, I mean, sharing data is never bad, I guess. It's just something I've noticed with the test matchup in particular, where I've always felt like instead of being ahead one step whenever I board differently, I've never, I seem to be, test pods seem to be aware of how I board, and It makes it a lot harder when that's the case.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Yes, that's true. Naturally drawn arbor, really good here. And then of course the Ranger over the Birchthorn, in case you don't want to get cheesed up by Grape Shot. I think depending what we draw, it could be a Thoughtseize right here. Or just going off with ad nauseum. But oh geez. Okay. Wow, 4 Rite of Flames. I mean, I'm likely still dead, I think. I don't know what Alex has, but... Okay, so we could be seeing... Okay, it looks like he's going to go for the ad nauseum. Yeah. So, ooh. I don't know if he can go off here, but I'm not sure. One Lotus Petal. Yeah, I might have been. You're right. Might have been. Or he might have been. I have to check. Oh yeah, that's true. They don't have black. Actually, no, they did. So yeah, I think he just missed it. So yeah, I think they definitely had 6 floating. So that could have been dead to a Burning Wish 2 Tendrils. I agree. But I think I'm dead anyways here. Yep, exactly, Eli. Yeah, Test is not one of the better matchups, and I am helping Eli's argument that Mindbreak Trap is better than Layla the Void. Yeah, I could see 2 traps just to keep people honest because one of the unfortunate things is I'm glad to see some of the people rocking elves lately do well. Particularly last Sunday, well, I want to say 9 days ago, so 2 challenges ago, 2 elves players rocking my list made the top 4, including the eventual winner. Okay, so there's only one more match. I'll just wait for this. But one of the bad things about that is when people know your list, things get a little bit harder because they know how to board. One of the advantages of playing elves, or just having your sideboard unknown, is they have to guess what kind of hate to play around. And when your list is known, then that becomes a lot harder. Yikes, Eli, that's rough. Like me, everybody running my list is doing well, but at least I've been doing well in leagues, in general. Last week, not last week, the week before, actually, the reason why 2 pilots ran my list to the top 4 was because I posted on Friday. I had 3 5-0s that week, so the list was running pretty hot. But it's okay, Eli, as long as they are giving you credit for your list. I think that's fine. Like, everybody goes through winning streaks and losing streaks. I think, yeah, losing streaks happen, no matter how good you are. Okay, next round is about to start, so that's kind of good timing. Lou, you okay? How many leagues do I play in a week? That is a good question.
A lot.
So my wife just said a lot. I don't think so. Maybe it is. I don't know. It tends to be at least one a day, so that's minimum 7, right? Occasionally, it's been more. I think lately, ever since I started working from home. But I think on average before I would play maybe 10 leagues a week because one a day and then maybe 2 on the weekends or whatever on Saturday, Sunday. Lately, it's been probably 10, probably a little bit more than that because the week 10 is probably about right. I think so. Definitely no more than 2 a day. So I wouldn't definitely not 14 or more. So overall, I guess I'm pretty happy. Otherwise, on a high week, I think it would be 2 a day, so 14. On a week where I'm busy, probably 1 a day, so 7. My wife likes to troll me a lot, so gotta keep me level-headed, right? So next round, here we go. That's pretty funny, Eli. Yeah, I don't know when the the combo players come out to play, but there does seem to be a lot at the moment, based on everything you've told me. Hodor time, baby. Don't know what they're on. Yeah, that sounds about right. I've had definitely around this time, midnight Eastern time would be 9 o'clock here, Pacific time. I've had some 5-0s definitely ruined by Belcher. So, and I think all 3 Belcher players play at this time for some reason. Okay, so here, that is a pretty awful hand. I guess I just want redundant copies instead of 3-1 between Quirion and Wirewood. Yeah, the Belcher players seem to be coordinated in their strike. They probably know the non-blue decks are playing right now too, so maybe that's why. I don't know. So speaking of Belcher, here we go. Right on cue, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter game 1 because they would beat us regardless. So it looks like an echo is coming. They have whipped before, so there's that. I don't know how rare that is, but I have seen it. I just think it's funny that right on cue we play against a Belcher player just as we're talking about it. There is the Belcher. So a funny thing that happened to me before is somebody once, a Belcher player once revealed the top card and whiffed as a result. So this matchup is incredibly hard. So it's kind of good that we got all our losses here in the prelim. I I will have to start playing Mind Break Trap. Leyline is okay, not great in this matchup.
So after quarantining himself for 2 weeks, upstairs at his house, White Cake did the same down.
So just board out all the grindy stuff.
Given all that,
Thanks for the follow, Leviathan 102. Appreciate it.
is White Cake who played across Notre Dame.
So the route to victory is typically win game 2 with either Thoughtseize or typically Thoughtseize or Leyline, and then game 3 hope Leyline gets there, which a lot of times it does not. Which is why this matchup is incredibly hard. Yeah, so the thing is, like, I don't expect to see Belcher in challenges. Not that I play them, but I build these decks for big tournaments in mind, even though I don't play them. Only because I want relevant. I want to be testing what I preach, so in case anybody wants to try my list. Oh wow, I didn't realize that. So this is a mole. It doesn't have any disruption. And we need turn 1 or turn 0 disruption apparently, or not apparently, but apparently Belcher won, so likely need turn 1 turn 0 disruption. If they mole, then they probably go for Echo Hand, but we don't have that luxury. Okay, so this is probably as good a 4 as we can possibly wish for. Actually, I don't think the Cradle is good here. We need to make mana, so the Ranger is better. Yeah, I think I beat a Belcher player on similar before. It's just the problem is you need to draw real well. My personal achievement against these type turn 1 decks is I once did beat Reanimator on Mole to 1 without Leyline either. Caracas got there. Okay. The problem with this is they empty and we still lose. Jeez. Man, this is rough. The problem here is they belch us. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 mana, and then hope they miss maybe, because we lose to an empty. Yeah, I think we take empty here and just hope they, well, the thing is, we assume that they have to whiff on the mana, and if that's the case, then
Captain of the bullpen trying to put the frosting on the rest of the relievers that have been unbelievable tonight.
I'm gonna take the pedal here, and hope they miss, because we need to see what a win looks like. I think we're dead regardless, but
Actually got a little more work in after his 4 1/3, was it? And went out the bullpen, got some more work to stretch himself out. But after that, here came the bullpen and they've done a job.
Kenley tested positive for COVID in late June, and so didn't report to camp until July 12th.
okay, so they had it anyways.
Ready to go for the start of the season. Tries to bounce back from the worst numbers of his career last year. We're flashes of the old Kenley, just inconsistent.
That's fair, Eli. I didn't think about that.
So here we go. Last of the ninth. Yuli Gurriel leading off, taking
But yeah, Mind Break Trap intensifies for sure.
walk twice tonight. He's 0 for 1. In fact, the Astros
So we have to hit runner here.
the rest of the team is 1 for 24.
That's fair. I think I would agree based on hearing that logic.
Swing, and that's good characteristic to that cutter. And the velocity is not necessarily.
Okay, so we are probably dead.
The other day and said, don't worry about the velocity right now. Worry about the characteristics, the way the pitches are moving.
It's unfortunate because their hand was very
Tails inside,
robust against the Thoughtseize there.
2-1.
A little bit more behind the ball on his two-seamer, so you see the velocity tick up to 92. With the cutter, he's
A
coming
turn late.
a little bit more. So
We need another creature here.
a little bit more into spinning the ball compared to the velocity.
Oh. So the good thing is we get a drop from this prelim, which has not been on our favor, but kind of a rough prelim. But I mentioned earlier that I had been doing well in the prelims prior to them, not firing. So I guess now is things are turning around. So I can't really complain, I should say. So maybe we can go 4-1 in this league. That's also the problem, I think, when you start 1 and 2, your chances of running into combo also increase. It does. To be fair, I have 5-0'd a few of these prelims, and the biggest one being the one that qualified me for the showcase. So it really balances out. I can't complain. So I've definitely had my share of luck. Good luck, I should say. Shout out to Max Gilmore. He jokes that I'm whitelisted for Magic Online.
When you have the virus, like Kenley did, no matter how tough the symptoms were and the sickness was, even if you just worry about it kicking and getting worse, it's got to deplete your energy. He's still getting in shape.
That is moved down the line to left, third hit of the night for Carlos Correa.
Thank you. I appreciate all 30 viewers who are here for me. Not a great hand, but my logic for keeping this is if I would keep it on a 6. We want this. Yeah, this type of name, I almost feel like could be Belcher. And especially with the aggressive mulliganing. I agree. Food names definitely scream combo. So here we have a bunch of lands. I think we actually want to keep the Wirewood.
Fires his first one. Look at that big cut in there. Man, that looked good. Strike one.
I think we're hoping that they play a turn 1 Chalice because we can just run the Shepherd into it. Okay, Merfolk. It's sort of combo, not really. They have a combo finish. I'd hardly call them a combo deck though. Okay, so our draws are pretty bad here.
He's consistently 91, 92, which is a very good sign. Like I said, I think he's still getting in shape. Still getting his full energy.
So this is kind of nice. We can just run our Green Sun right into the Curse Catcher. And the reason why we want to not save this for Visionary is because we already have 2 fatties in our hand. Lou, it's okay.
It's a little greater here because the Dodgers have left 11 guys on base.
We don't want to trade.
The offense got past the magic number 4, which usually brings a victory. They surely could have got a lot more. A couple more key hits.
It's the pressure flying. Jansen.
Lou, it's okay. Uh-oh. My dog is starting to get restless again. Hey, Nathan, how's it going, man? Yeah, I heard apparently they're running Baron. Oh. Calm down, buddy. Maybe he needs to go out. Yeah, my dog. Okay, so they conceded, which is very interesting. Yeah, I'm not 100% familiar with the list, to be honest. I know the old school list at least, and I know this is not true anymore. Ran like infinite lords. Yeah, I believe Zero Lords is now the new default with the Paradigm Shift combo. I don't know if they have Chalice. I think they do have Chalice. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to have one Lord only because it's one of those things you either want a lot of or you don't want it all. So I think they have still to have Chalice, so ley line's good. I don't think Archon is good in this matchup. Actually, Reclaimer's not particularly great in this matchup. Yeah, that's true. They could be just on traditional merfolk. Reclaimer can get a cavern in case they chalice, but that's kind of fringe in my opinion, which is not why I'm boarding out the one over Heritage Druid. I typically don't like Oof against Aether Vial decks if all they have is Aether Vial. Some versions run GT, but I think that's playing too scared. And then the reason why I'm not running Archon to name, I think Paradigm Shift is a sorcery, is because that's probably hurts me more than it hurts them. Paradigm Shift is a sorcery, yeah. Yeah, I don't like. I mean, they could have GT, I guess, but I typically don't like Oof against the Aether Vial decks, besides D&T. And then, as far as I know, they have not run Wasteland in quite a while. So, a sports update for those of you who follow baseball. The Dodgers just beat the Astros. Yeah, exactly. We have so many ways to fog a GTA. I mean, like, they could have true name, but then you're talking about turn 4 play there now. Yeah, that seems like the case. I know they are not favored against L's, not favored against D&T. Here I'm just gonna fetch a Bayou only because I don't think they run Wasteland. Oh wow! So if Jack is still here, he actually recently beat me with Merfolk. So I have lost to definitely Jack on Merfolk and maybe once or twice besides that. What up, Jack? Yeah, I'm just telling you how you beat me with Merfolk. Yeah, engineer is gonna be a problem, I think. For the tribal decks, I think elves is probably one of the more immune ones to plague engineer because of the natural order. But I definitely feel the pain for you goblin players. Here, there's real no rush to, in my opinion. There's no real rush to decay the chalice. And then I'm fetching the double buyer here in case they wasteland one. The other reason why there's no need to decay right away also is because the reason why there's no reason to decay right away is because you can draw into Shepherd naturally. And we still need to develop our hit land drop anyways. I still lose two. Hey Lynn Chalice, how's it going, man? So yeah, maybe Eli can comment more on whether what is it called? Whether a plague engineer is good enough against goblins. Here it feels like they have a flash creature. I forget what that flash creature is called though. It's the one that turns you into 0 and taps. But I'm probably gonna have to respect it. Yeah, that it just seems like it's bait, but who knows? I think it depends. I think chaos versions will definitely have a problem with a plague engineer. I think natural order versions, while it's annoying, can beat it because you just bypass the engineer, right? Yeah, from Delver, sweepers in general from Delver are harder to beat because you can't really afford to play around it because they can tempo you out. Okay, so here now we can just go off. That's likely a force, but who knows? Force of negation likely, if I were to guess. Warping whale. Okay, that is interesting. Not what I would have expected, but that's fine. So just try it again. So let's see. So here we want to avoid playing our land drop right away because in case we draw into a cradle. Okay. We can keep our glimpse going here with the waterwood. So I'm confused, Jack. What are you saying? So here it's just purely mechanical. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I was surprised by the warping whale too. But in general, yeah, you can just keep your glimpse chain going there with the wirewood. We finally drew into the cradle for next turn. But that's fine. Pass. I think we're pretty far ahead. I don't know what they could possibly have. Even a GTA here would not be great. So it seems like engineer for goblins is okay too. Then is what I'm reading. Unless it's out from Delver. Uh, yeah, I think I just bounce. Doesn't hurt.
George Springer at the plate, flashing with the left. Easy play for A.J. Pollock. Still 1-0 through 3 after a 1-2-3 third from Bueller. Bottom of the fourth. We're back out there facing Michael Brantley. And that's a blooper. 2-out single.
So here we're just trying to draw into the shepherd now to force Craterhoof through. Okay, that's fine. You're talking about compared to the traditional natural order, Jack?
Stays on the ball and he goes the other way. It's going to be suspended quicker.
This is when the Dodgers are having their singles party here at the fifth. A.J. Pollock comes through for the first 2-1 in the fifth, and Kike Hernandez finds a hole as well to load the bases with nobody out. Fresh Prince lines one to right.
These guys have been lining out up to this point. So they're going to be able to give a break.
I'm gonna try to save some time. Doesn't seem like that much.
So they chase Valdez. Nolan Paredes comes in, walks Mookie Betts on 4 pitches, so the Dodgers have their first.
Engineer is super mediocre. Yeah, they have a lot of X2s.
It's a soft liner that Bregman comes home with it. Maldonado can't hang on, and Pollock scores to tie the game. Decent play right here by Bregman. That was on top here.
Yeah, Dead of Winter and Deluge, I think, are harder for me to play around currently than Engineer. Engineer, like, for me, I have a game plan against it. I could talk a little bit about that.
Talking about a guy who just comes in the clutch every time, guys in scoring position. Great hitter, left-handed.
I know this card seems very niche. Doesn't really care. Versus. I know this card is gonna seem very niche, but Cabal Pit actually has impressed me, especially lately. And it's better now that I'm running Once Upon a Time because I can hit threshold fast. Oops. Since I can hit threshold faster. Yeah, actually, even before Esperval won this challenge, I had been playing Cabal Pit specifically to beat Esperval because I think a lot of players who are good believe in Esperval, and even if they aren't popular in leagues, I think in challenges, and again, I don't really play challenges, but I built these for whoever wants to this deck for whoever wants to pick it up to play in challenges. But Cabal Pit is nice because one, your removal suite is Abrupt Decay, which is uncounterable, and then that means Force of Will is probably going to counter whatever Meddling Mage isn't naming at the time. So Meddling Mage presumably names Abrupt Decay. If they have a Peacekeeper or a Plague Engineer out, then you need to get around it. The problem is Force of Will is likely in their hands. So Pit not only is a tutorable with Reclaimer, it actually beats Force of Will too. And whatever, if they have they can also Meddling Mage on Assassin's Trophy or whatnot. Hopefully that makes sense. So if we win the last match here, we can now go potentially 4-1. Specifically, they got you. Yeah, I think what I've learned and with Esperval in the format, and I think it's been, I said this before, that I thought speaking of Tom, I thought that the three best decks, or not best, but most underrepresented decks in the format were the ones piloted by people essentially with only one pilot or known for one pilot at the time. So I thought Elves, at least the Reclaimer version, was underplayed, and recently it's been picked up more. I thought Strifle Pal was underplayed and typically only. Okay, so Tom, being the good guy that he is, notified me that he had my stream in the background. So good thing he's closing it. He's making it fair. This matchup tends to be very hard. The reason being is if Tom is on turbo, not only is Tom a good player, but Reclaimer for Caracas tends to be a little slow compared to against a. So we are on the draw. So I think we'll hit a land. So we want to hit a Quirion Ranger off the top deck. So yeah, Tom's a great guy. He knew that he had me on the background earlier as I was streaming and didn't want to snipe me. Little known story with Tom regarding this matchup. He once beat me and pretty convincingly on a Moto 3. His 3 was Urborg, Thespian Stage, and Dark Depths. Thanks, Jog. Thanks for coming by, man. Okay, so that glimpse was an awkward draw. So it's kind of nice too because we have a second green sun. If we don't find another land, we can always just green sun for Quirion Ranger. And also against Michael Mapson, yeah, he mulled to 4 and beat me the same week that Tom beat me on a Moto 3. So I was thinking, man, maybe I need to play more crowd rotation. So okay, Tom didn't disrupt me. I think there's a good chance that he has the crop rotation. Sorry, not the crop rotation. The Spear Guide in hand. So I have to go for it here.
Just your thought about how things unfolded during the Kelly outing, and you had said you didn't think there'd be retaliation. Was that?
Yeah, we're not gonna get there. We needed to get lucky. And we were on the draw, so nothing to be sad about. We kept it off the power of the glimpse, but this match is incredibly hard, and it's compounded by the fact that Tom is a great player. So there it is. So Tom typically will concede to me early, so I'm returning the favor here. Like instead of making the opponent walk through the attack step and whatnot. Yeah, that's a lot of Elvish Spirit Guide. Once I know Jack plays a version that runs it with Elf Ball essentially, so I'm not used to this view. Let me change it back. I like C's in this matchup. The one crop rotation helps. and then I'm just trimming on the grinding engine. And again, here's the normal sideboarding map that I go by. Because this Cabal Therapy is a crop, I can board out a second Wirewood. Yeah, Jack has done well, I know, with a Summoner's Pack version. At least multiple 5-0s. I don't know exactly how many, but that deck is... It's definitely a fun thing to Summoner's Pack for a Spirit Guide. I think when I first picked up Elves, I ran a mono green Elf Ball version too that had one. At the time, Natural Order had not been incorporated into the deck yet, but I ran like one Spirit Guide to pack for as well. So I think here, barring something crazy happening, I would say we're pretty unfavored to win both games here. So 3-2 is likely the outcome. This is pretty much what we can hope for. We either want turn 1 Thoughtseize or turn 1 Reclaimer. So this is the Thoughtseize half. And then we're saving our fetch to represent a body later in case. Okay, so there's the 3 lands I was referring to earlier. So we can't stop them. Yeah, I don't think Pedo changes the math, so I'm taking the Inquisition. We do have a Caracas and a crop rotation that finds it, but I think here we might be in a little bit of trouble. So we gotta pass back. Actually, I think it might be. I think we have to cycle actually the Shepherd, the Glimpse here, to dig one deeper. Okay, so now we set ourselves up for a turn 3 where we can potentially draw into an out. And Crop does that. So here, we lose to a Spirit Guide. Okay, so that's pretty good. An Elf is okay here, and so is a crop rotation or Caracas. Okay, so here we buy ourselves a turn by getting the Archon in case they end step. Yeah, so based on the fact that they did that, I wanted to play the Archon to block and buy ourselves another turn. We still have 2 outs and a couple of redraws, and that wasn't one of them. So we went 3-2 in this league. I think I'm okay with that. I don't feel good about this matchup. I probably want a second crop rotation, to be honest. And then our other loss, we lost to. Let me see. Don't remember off the top of my head. Oh, we lost to Belcher, which again I don't mind that as well. I'm definitely considering those mind break traps now, though, that Eli was talking about.
That's respectful. I would take the fire department for doing that. We're not take it this year. Maybe
I
next
think actually no. Was it Belcher we lost to in this league? Let's see.
You said it before. You were
No, we lost to Tess. Belcher was in the prelim. Yeah, Black Belcher, aka Tess. So one second, I'm gonna get some water and then I'll be right back.
off to Arizona for 4 with the Diamondbacks.
All right, so I think with the time left right now, there's probably not enough time for a second league, and I already said there was only one league for tonight. So we got actually a league and a prelim in at the same time. So I think that's probably it for me for tonight. But I was curious if anybody had questions about this list. I wish the stream we would have done better, but I can't really complain about these matchups because I don't feel good about either of them, to be honest. And maybe my big trap is worth a consideration, given the loss to Tess and Belcher today. I mean, we won the matches we should have. I forget what this. I don't really remember what we beat, but multiple combo decks. About doing medium on a stream. Yeah, it's 3-2 is fine. The prelim was a little disappointing considering it's the first one in a while. Yeah, no problem, Jack. Appreciate you tuning in, man. I think going forward, it's possible that we want the second rotation, or we want the Mindbreak traps instead of the Leyline of the Voids. Because thanks, Romario. Because we lost to Belcher today, we lost to Tess, we lost to the Mirror, which I'm fine with. There was something. Oh, we lost to a Bug Delver that we punted. I think that wouldn't happen normally off stream. I got a little flustered in that first match with the dog acting up. Let me see if who's streaming right now. So nobody I recognize really that I'm following. Yeah, Jack, you should definitely do a stream. I think people would definitely want more Elves content, and then you can always post it on my Discord and the regular Elves Discord as well. I'm sure people would watch, especially since you provide a different flavor, either with a Nail Sentinel build or a Chaos build. So let's take a look at the deck. I think. Also, shout out to who was it that mentioned it? Oh, shout out to George who mentioned that Pile. Is it Pile? Yeah, card view is better to view on stream. So I think the main deck I still like a lot. It's possible these ley lines I can trim to 3 or run something else for the additional Mind Brew trap if there's more Storm. But I think ley line is pretty good because, and we did beat Reanimator without it, to be fair too, which is kind of funny if you think about it. I think no problem. I don't know if it's Fausto on that Eternal Magic Twitch, but if it is, thanks Fausto. Okay, I guess that's it for now. Hope you all enjoy the stream. Until next week, I'll sign off right now.